Hey there, lads and lasses. This here, of course, is Thunderhand64, coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Friday morning. It is just a wee bit past 11 a.m., and that can only mean that it is time for some Buffooncraft SMP Season 6, and it looks like I'm a little blurry this morning. Let me fix this. Fuck. Let me see. Cameras. Here we go. Prompts. And the video has configured itself again. Why must it do that? Please don't ever configure yourself. Just do the thing. That's better, right? Yes, I can see that it is. He answered himself. Okay, so what I figured I would do today is I'm going to do some things that we need to do for the build, for the main build. And then the second half, I'm going to slaughter my eyeballs and go back into the mirror dimension, see if I can find anything. Anything at all. So let's get right into that, shall we? Display scene right there. We've been given a few hints for the mirror dimension event. Okay, where am I? All right, I'm over here. Okay, so one of the things I was doing to gather resources for the next part of the main build was to build a squiddy farm. And so I need to choose a decent location. I had chosen that location right over there, where that Spidey is right there, earlier, but it's not ideal because I would have to empty out the water in a huge portion of the river. And I don't mind doing the work, but it's going to devastate the landscape there. It's going to look awful. And I don't want to do that so close to Drost and Skipton. So I want to find a better location. I was thinking I should put it near Drost here, so everyone can use it. But also, squid farms aren't the best looking farms, and they tend to devastate the landscape. So I think I need to be a bit choosy, and I think I'm going to have to settle for it being a little bit out of the way. But I don't know if the squid farm really gets a lot of use from the players. I just need lots of the black dye. So, and since we do not have any access to the end as of yet, and I can't build a Wither Rose farm yet, then squid farm seems like the way to go. You know, all the flowers, you know, produce dye. I wonder if the pale forest flowers produce a dye. Huh. What is this? This is the back end of this crane? Really? I've never noticed this before. It's the counterweight for the crane. Or it's the operation cockpit for the crane. Don't start with the innuendos. Lone Star, welcome on in. You all can see the auto shout out up there for fellow buffoon Lone Star. How you doing, Lone? Speaking of Lone Star, Status Police open and streaming. There. Done, sir. Done. Doing good. How are you? I'm doing all right. Yes. I had a very late night, a very early morning. So I'm functioning on only about 4 hours sleep. I usually need the entire 6. And so we're going to be a bit foggy-brained today. I know. How is that any different than usual? But yeah, today's going to be a bit of a struggle. A bit more than usual. Some additional work has been completed on the town hall. The town hall is not completed, but some work has been. And I got to say, it's looking very, very cool. Okay. Okay. And I do believe, I do believe, there's an upper level to this there. And I don't think any work has been completed on that as of yet. But this is looking nice. Very, very nice indeed. All right, let's go to the base. Be right back. Chicken is done. Done. So you can see we have squid farm building materials in our inventory. But before we get too far along with that, let's have a butcher over here. So, I did post in the Buffooncraft Discord. I think I did. If I didn't, correct me, and then I will do so. But the main part of our build is done. Or I should say the main part of our build is done. Has been completed. Let's hop over here. Here we are. So let's have ourselves a bit of a discussion here, shall we? Are you going to look in the last place today? I hope so. I'm going to look. I hope I'm going to look in the last place. The last place that I would look for any items in the event would be my base. In the overworld. That would be the last place I would look. But I've been referencing a joke about it's always in the last place you look, because that's a George Carlin bit where he says it's always in the last place you look because then you would find it. Why would you keep looking? Even if you find it the first place you look, because of the nature of sequences, people, the first place would be simultaneously the last place you looked. Not helpful information. It's always in the last place you look. Get the back of my hand for that. So here we are. So obviously this is a humanoid, gigantic humanoid kind of figure here. This is just the base shape of it. What I plan to do now is dress the details on the outside of this and make this actually look like the monstrous form I intend it to look. So the cobbled deep slate here is just like the shell of it, and then I'm going to build on the outside of that, and I'm going to try to freestyle that and see how that goes. The blocks I want to use for that are probably going to be blackstone and basalt. Maybe the smooth basalt. Yeah, I'm going to go that route with it. So maybe some other kinds of blocks or whatnot. And I'll reveal part of my sub-lore for my build in this season here. So the idea here is that yours truly, the mighty Thunderhead, traveled down to the South Sea and liberated the humans here from the despotic rule of the sea giants. Thunderhead battled the sea giants and defeated them all. And so set up his base on the central island in the sea. I have kept 4 giants alive. This is one of them. And they act, and they're bound in place, acting as my guardians around the island in the north, south, east, and west. And then my base on the island itself, every structure in there is housed in, on, and or around the dead body of a giant. So I have a lot of sea giant bodies to build. But my first goal is to get 4 of them in place. The 4 bound giants in place, and to get them functioning. Yeah, functioning. They will operate as guardians, and they will be armed and dangerous. Yes, they will. And north, south, east, and west in the ring around the island here. And then I will start on the island around the structures I have, the trade hall, the iron farm, the goat farm. All of the structures in the island will be in, on, and around a giant's defeated body. The cylinder back there with my portal on it, that portal structure will be converted into part of a dead body. The hill behind it on which my wee body will be placed will also be part, maybe even part of the same body. I don't know. We'll see. But that's how I'm going to go about this. George Carlin was great. Yes, he was. Fellow Irish American. So that's my plan for the season. So there'll be a bit of a pit around here, and this giant will be crawling up out of the pit, but bound in place, so he has to stay right there. And that's my watchdog in the north. So this way is north. And you know what? Let's just temporarily set the chunks so we can get a good idea of the scene here. We can get some of the background elements in, rendered in. There we go. So we'll decorate the exterior of this now with the features of the sea giants, and I'm thinking sea giant kind of stuff like fins and stuff like that, and gills and things like that, claws, the webbed hands, all of that kind of stuff, right? And we'll set this up like that. We'll get some sort of terrifying face on here, and as the last feature, we will arm it with the last feature. The thing that makes it so darn dangerous. Because right now it's just merely in... Oh God, I love that scene over there on the northwestern shore. That is so beautiful. They're rendering in right now with the sunset. And the back part of the island I don't think is rendering in right now either. That's got a... Maybe I haven't been over there for a while. The mob farmer's rendering in. But yeah. So that's how that's going to work. So there'll be a giant here, one there, one off the shore there, and one in the south. There'll be 4 of them. And then the island itself will be littered with the defeated giant bodies. So that's how I'm going to go for right now. That means I have to gather resources, and I have to gather a lot of them. So I need a lot of black dye for the glass that's going to act as the webbing and stuff in between the hands and the fins and stuff like that. I need black glass for that. And then I'm also going to need, so I need the black dye for that, which means squid farm. And I'm going to need a basalt farm. Basalt farm's pretty easy to do. Squid farm is also easy to do. It's just picking the best location so you can make the smallest one possible. That's a bit tricky, and that's what I'm going to work on a bit today. So let's do a bit of sleeping, and then we'll go for a hunt throughout the server to try to figure out a good location. And then for the second half of the stream, we will enter into the mirror dimension and try and see if we can make any progress there at all. The last 2 streams have been devoid of any kind of progress whatsoever. So we'll see what we can do. I'll log on and come and help in the second half. Thank you, sir. Always good to have friends, fellow buffoons. Yeah, so let's do that. I'm going to box up some of this stuff here. And of course, Sage was kind enough to lend me the sponges that Shut and Nebs had lent to him. There we go. Hawk. Hands, really. So I have to make a point of returning those after I'm finished. At some point, I really do have to get my own sponges, though. I've never gone this far into a season without having sponges in my toolkit. So I usually have about a stack of sponges. All right, so I'm going to reduce my render distance before I jump into that portal. That would be a good thing. Yeah, let's bring this right on down. There, that's better. Not for aesthetics, but for performance, yeah. Great. You can see that looks cool off the shore like that. It particularly looks cool when you're traveling the north road here out to the edge, and this is directly north of that. That's really cool. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to do is fetch my beacon. That's one of the things I wanted to do. Come on, come on. As you can see, I'm as good with the trident as I am with parkour. Which is not good at all. Yes, we no longer need a beacon over here. I'm going to keep the conduit here, though. Le conduit. Because with the squid farm, there's usually a fair amount of digging involved. And so, yeah. Beacon. Usually this late into any season, not only do I have the sponges, but I usually have at least 3 beacons by this point. I don't know how many I have right now. I think it's just 1. But when I have the other 3 giants in place, all 4 of them completed, I'll have to say, I have to say I'll be happy to not have to build in the water again for this particular reason. It's trying to walk along the bottom of whatever surface you're on and then constantly going into swim mode like that. That is so annoying. One of the annoying recollections of Season 4. And one of the things I've noted in this season is I haven't been doing any of my typical branded Celtic design work in this season, so I might do some of that stuff. I'm just thinking of where I want to put it. Usually I do the more curved spiral kinds of patterns instead of the more angular patterns. So I want to do more angular stuff this season, so I'm going to have to try to figure out a place in which I can start to incorporate some of that stuff. All right, I have beacony things here. Beacony bits. And we didn't leave any debris floating around, did we? No, we did not. All right, let's go. Again. There we go. All right, let's start in downtown Drost. Or maybe not. You know what? Let's just stay right here. Yeah, let's just remain right here. And I'm going to temporarily log off. I'm going to pull up chunk base, and I'm going to look at river biomes. And I'm going to look at river biomes between my base and Drost. And we'll see if we can pick ourselves out a decent location. All right, so let's do this so we don't die. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, you're on a mushroom island. You'll be fine. No, we've died 3 times at least on the mushroom island. You know, a few of those definitely being, but not exceeding, a Greener Canuck style death. Greener, I'm calling you out on that, man. Oh, I missed that guy. Okay, let us pull up this and we'll switch scenes. There we go, biome 2, right there. And let's do this. How do I want to go about this? I thought there was a way that I could zoom up on this. Yeah, it's called expand. There it is. All right, this may look a little weird because I have the biomes highlighted. Let's... Wow, it's even hard to see the... All right. Now, some of you are... In fact, a lot of you are probably looking at this on your phones, but my Mushroom Island is right there. Okay, Drost is right here, with Skipton, Drost, and everything being right about there. So now there are plenty of river biomes, but I'm looking for a very, very specific kind of river biome. I'm looking for an extremely small one that's surrounded by land. All right. And if possible, less than one chunk. So it fits within one chunk. And I don't want to build it inside the, too close to anybody else's bases. I don't want to be intrusive. I want to be a good neighbor. And so immediately I think of places like this, but when I zoom up on them, like this might be a good place. Right here. Now this is actually not between Drost and myself. This is in the desert down here. This is a really good place because you can see that it's one chunk right here. Okay. And it bleeds over into the chunks around it, but that's very, very little place that needs to be filled. Some place like that. Now, I may just go over there and just build right there. But I want to see if there's a location that's between my place, my base, and Drost, so it's a little more convenient for the other buffoons. Yeah, not good. Sometimes there's a little island in the sea, but remember, and the idea is that you want to cut down the other mob spawning, right? And especially more squid spawning. So now Drost is all in this area right here. Now the first site I chose was right here. Now I could just fill in the water around it, and I don't mind doing the work, but what it does is it obliterates the landscape around it, and it makes it look, it just devastates the landscape, and that I do not want to do. And not at Drost and not at Skipton and that whole area. I want to preserve that. Something like this you think would be really cool? Like that would be really cool, but except for all the water around it, right? I would have to fill in all that water around it. Not cool. I could make some artificial land there, but... And I don't know whose base that is over by there. Now I'm looking, I could see a little speck right here. That looks pretty darn good. I mean, this looks good. I would have to fill in some right here. And so far, this looks like a little bit more work than that desert location I had. I mean, I'll build in the desert location. I mean, the buffoons can easily get there with the going through the nether. So it's not critical. It'd just be kind of cool if it was in as convenient a place as possible for the other buffoons. Yeah, you know, I'm not seeing any of these places jumping right out at me here. I'm thinking, how about over by Nova's Way? You know, and I think Nova might be building a squid farm in under his pyramid. I'm not sure. But he's on hiatus at the moment, so I can't really ask him. I suppose I could DM him, but I did put it up in the Buffooncraft members server. You know, this is probably the best location right here. Yeah, let's just go with this. Let's travel there first and let's see. Let's see what we've got. So let me switch the display back over. There we are. I'll get the coords. And let's go at least have a look at that place now. Let's do this. The good thing is it's not that far from my base, at the very least. And I do travel to this location frequently to get sand. This is that area you saw in Chunk Base is from where I fetch all my sand to do things like this shoreline. So I did say all the structures will be in, on, and around, or integrated within the dead bodies of giants. So the iron farm will be the first one I'll probably do. I'll probably build some sort of dead giant body there. And incorporate the iron farm into it somehow. All right, what do I have for coords here? I have, it looks like almost negative 2,000, positive 4,400. Yeah, I know it is southwest of my island, so. I wonder if Nova, the mighty pharaoh, would like to get in on my sea giant lore. Because he's my neighbor over there east of me. More south, actually, than east. Okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. This away. Yeah, so there's a small village here. I'm hoping I don't obliterate that village. But it would be kind of cool, I guess. You know, to have the village be sort of like the custodians of the squid farm. That would be kind of cool. And kind of work a little bit of lore into it. And let me see. Negative 1993. So you've got these little patches like right here, but let's put on our see this. Even though it's water, this is desert biome, right? Which I know it's a little contradictory here, but this place is soon to be mobbed with mobs. So let's do our sleeping thing. And I'm not sure how long it will take to build the squid farm. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be able to accomplish it in less than an hour. But just getting the location is a big deal. And then I'll post pics on our respective Discords. I'm thinking it's over here somewhere. because it looks like it's very close to the mesa biome. So it's probably in and around here. It's probably right about here. I'm thinking this is it. Desert. It's still showing desert biome here, though. And it does say negative 1993. It's probably here. This looks like... Yeah, all right, good. Great! This is it right here. All right. That's pretty close right over there, but... Again, I don't mind filling this in. The village is pretty close. That's kind of cool, but not close enough. These farms are usually in the ground because the squid spawn between layers 63 and 46 inclusive, and then you usually need a layer above that and a layer below that of water for them to spawn. If you're going to like get the maximum amount with that, so. Yeah. So I'm going to build the basic kind of squid farm here. I really don't want to get too involved in it, which means I probably will. So I'm going to build the basic kind of Buffooncraft. One I saw on Buffooncraft. I'll post the if I ever process the VOD, because I haven't been doing that for the last 5 months. But I'll post the link in the video for at least for the Buffooncraft video, and they usually build somebody else's build, so the credit will make it on there somehow, make it into the video description somehow. So, but I'll modify it a little bit. Like I'll add a layer above it and a layer below it of water just to get every little possible spawn place. So let's do this. Let's first of all pick the chunk that has the most river biome in it. I'm thinking it's not that one. It's probably this one. So let's go around the borders here of this chunk. Yeah, this is the one that'll do it. River biome. Yep, this is it. Okay, we got a little tiny bit of desert here in the corner, but this is actually really, really good. All right, the reason why I'm trying to make it fit in a chunk is that this kind of design uses minecarts. And sometimes minecarts break when they have to cross chunks. I don't think it's going to be a big problem. So if I can build a farm and keep chunk borders in mind when I'm doing that, all the better. All right, if this is the case now, let me see. Let me think of this for a little bit. We're going to need 128 and 45. So 160, 173 is how I'm going to want to build up. Right? Let's break out our gear. Since we already know ahead of time we're building here. Well, let me at least dig out the chunk first so it's very, very obvious where we're going to build. Because I've already decided this is where it's going to be. Yeah, right in here. So there's only a very tiny space in here, but this is okay. I have a plan for that. Because the farm, even though the chunk is 16 by 16, the farm is only about 13 by 13. It's on the odds. So I can make the bits of the farm, the chunk that are not occupied by the farm, these parts right here that aren't in the river biome. So I can maximize that. Again, it's not absolutely critical. I'm not looking to build some sort of super farm or anything, but I want the farm to be very, very small. Squid ink is not really a super popular item on any SMP. I really doubt any of the buffoons are going to use this at all. So it'll probably be me using it mostly for this one time. There we go. Something like that. And I think the idea, what I was trying to do was something like this. Dirt. There we go. And this isn't going to be part of the farm. I'm just sketching out the chunk here. Not gravel. Wait. Yeah. This is Buffooncraft, so you know what I can do? Bye-bye. Gravel. Bye-bye. Yeah, and I know this gravel over here is going to try to creep its way into my inventory. Yeah. No. All right. Great. Okay, this is good. So the farm will go right about here. All right, so let's get somewhere in and around the middle, and then we'll turn on chunk base and we'll have ourselves a butcher. And then we'll get the radius in place of the spawn sphere, and we can see where that's going to go. I think I had some, yeah, whatever. Okay. And it just has to be somewhere in the middle. It doesn't have to be exact, like right here, I think. Good enough. So we need to go up to maybe 173, I think. So the spawn sphere for AFK will incorporate the entire squid spawning columns, but as little of the surrounding area as possible, just to keep the mob spawning down and limit it only to those squid. Again, it's not so much of... Did I really not bring enough with me? Scaffolding. Yeah, this is not going to be enough, I don't think. Oh, no, it should be. Yeah, there we go. Right about there. That might make a good screenshot for the thumbnail if I ever process my video archives ever again. That's cool. See, you can see the little town back there? Let's put it right on over to here. There we go. Okay. C or H, as the Brits say. And we have sphere. Configure. Full block, everything set here. There it is. All right, so you can get an idea of how much we have to fill in here. There's the radius right there. And this has to be filled in a... we have to make sure that there are no caves beneath this and no water beneath this or anything, at least down to layer 40, 45. Right, so this will wind up excavating out a bowl-shaped thing. And, you know, we may be able to fill things in. I'm thinking of just scooping out the whole bowl shape and then filling it in. It's a bit more work, a lot more work, but it will just be absolutely certain that these are 100% filled in, and so nothing else can spawn there. So we should be good. Right, so let's do the sleeping thing. Jessica's Genie, I don't know, I was forever needing squid ink. Really? I did ask if any of the other buffoons had any squid farms on the server yet. I certainly don't want to build one. Like, I can't see how Shut and Nebs would not have one at this point. They have everything for a farm. They have farms for everything is what I'm trying to say. And they probably had them all like within week 1 of the server starting up. So, because they'd be like that. But yeah, I didn't get any response really. I got some responses, but nothing to the effect of, yeah, I have a squid farm, come on over and use it. So if that's the case, I figured I'd build one. So, of course, welcome on in, GD. GD, fellow buffoon. You all can see the auto shout out there for Genie. When I was last on there was no ink farm. I didn't even know you could make one. Well, sit back and observe. Papa Thunderhand, show you how this is done. Sort of. Part of how I'm going to do this is a little bit of overkill. It doesn't really have to be this bad. Which is the cue for the redeem, for the Alton Brown redeem, by the way. Just going to throw that out there. You know what? I think we should just start digging. And there's Lone Star. So I think I'll establish the perimeter first. So I'll do that. And I'm going to try to reuse some of these items for filler. I think that's just the most efficient thing to do. I brought a lot of filler materials with me, which was kind of dumb because I'm going to dig a hole, but whatever. Where do I usually keep extra chests? I think in my tech boxes. No. And no. Wow. I mean, there might be some chests over in yonder village. Then we'll need to make a portal location out to here. What about tools? Would I have chests and tools? Really? Hands. Really? Did I not bring any chests with me at all? I usually either have them in my basic kit or my tech kits. I mean, I just want to jam some of this stuff in here so I can free up some of my shulkers because I'm going to pull a lot of this sand, and I use sand. And so this is an opportunity. No chest there. Let's just start laying down our shulkers full of junk. Is this basic kit? No. That's basic kit. There we go. Wow. Talk about a shulker monster. Some redstone-y stuff. That's an empty shulker. That should go back in. Really? That's one of my adventuring kits. That's another one of my adventuring kits. Those can go back in. Really? No chests. All right. Well, I'll just use shulkers then. If that's and as I empty out some shulkers, I can fill the others. So I can trade stuff off like that. Empty shulker, empty shulker. So I guess we'll keep some empty shulkers in place here, and we'll just replace items in them. Yeah, we'll do that. Because sand is the thing I really want to bring back. And see, all of this granite and diorite and stuff, this is the stuff I want to get rid of. So we'll save as much of the dirt as possible. The dirt! And we'll use this crap stone here for filler. So we'll just get set up to build. Just trying to get all my stuff in all my stuff together here. Like that. Yeah, that way, see, I have a lot of this stuff in my inventory, just clogging my inventory and stuff, so this is my chance to get rid of it. Be super Scottish and just get rid of that stuff. We're going to wind up with a lot of sand, I'm thinking. All right, one of these was not that full. Let's do this. We're going to need some of this scaffolding, but you know what? We have a shulker for that, so let's use it. And I'm going to keep the sponges right in here for now. Those will come in handy shortly. And then I think I'm good for the rest of this. We have a spare shulker right there. So I'm trying to keep the empty shulkers on one side and the full shulkers on another. Yeah, we can do that. Right. Right. Yeah, here's the building stuff. Uh-oh. We have some moderation that we need to take care of. Thank you, Jeannie. Bye-bye. No soliciting. It says it right in the tag. But, you know, it's a bot, so. All right, let's, you know, I have about maybe 7 minutes before we break and then head into the mirror dimension. So let's just try to sketch out the area, and let's use stone for that. All right. There we go. And let's turn on our overlay. Let's turn off the numbers. Now, we actually want to be on the outside of this. So we want to be doing this kind of a thing here, like that. Like this. And I'm just marking out the sphere right now. just its boundaries. But I want to leave as much of the landscape in as possible. Around the farm, anyway. And let me see. Let's avoid the water right now because I just want to make some sort of progress. And I should pull out my not so overpowered shovel right now. Yeah, because I'm doing this the stupid way. Let's try to at least maintain the illusion of intelligence, and otherwise Nova's going to be disappointed. Although if he's not disappointed by now, I don't know how he couldn't be. Let's tools over to here. Let's do that. Let's do this. And usually there's efficiency 5. That's not the one I want. Here's the one I want. The one I want. Right there. Let's do that. Let's do that and that. We will put the shovel in the main hand. We will put the filler stone in the offhand. And we're going to need more filler stone than that. Like this. Okay, let's do that. We'll go put this here like this. That there like that. And let's get on over to here. So we don't want the overpowered shovel because we tried to dig out like blocks precisely and then we just obliterate gigantic holes in the ground. It's just... Let's see, we can just do that now. That's a little bit quicker. That would... I may wind up leveling off this circle, I'm not sure. Well, we'll see. But the flat parts will be the easiest parts to do, so let's just do all of the easy stuff first. That way it'll look like we actually accomplished something. And you know, if you're building this kind of squid farm, this isn't really necessary. But I'm just trying to tweak it so I can just get every little squiddy I can out of it. Because I want to build it small. I know this looks huge, but the farm itself is actually going to be very small. So, yeah, it'll only take up about one chunk. The other point behind this is to harvest some sand. That'll be another cool thing. Because I use a lot of sandstone for my block palette this season, and so sand is a good thing. This is being a super efficient Scotsman here. All right, let's get over here. Of course, I'm doing this so very carefully around here because again, I want to use as little of the area as possible. So I'm going right to the very accurate edge of the spawn sphere. So I reduce the environmental impact as much as possible. Some of you more conservative types may be scoffing at that, but it's just, I just like it to look nice, right? Or as nice as it possibly can. I need to do that and that. And again, you know, I'm going to level off some of this stuff. I'm just grabbing the easiest stuff I can get right now. And I know it's a little bit past the time to break, but I just want to finish this one part and then I'll break. And then we'll go into the mirror realm. And you know what? If the stream goes over a little bit, that's fine. But I can't really have it much. I can't really spend much more time than an hour in the mirror realm because it just destroys my eyes. Yeah, and it has adverse effects on my eyesight for days after. Sometimes it does. Yeah, I get some really bad eye fatigue. And yeah, it's not cool, especially when I have to drive. Okay, I think that's good enough. Let's take a look. Genie, genie, genie. It feels like it's been forever. Although I have been sitting in on a number of your streams. Okay, there's the pre-roll for the ads. And that's my whole point of breaking for the making the ad break, running the ads at the beginning of the stream and then running them again at the middle. It's to eliminate the pre-roll. So just hang in there, friends. I think I'm good here. Like this. We're almost there. Almost there. Stay on target. So I'm definitely sketching the outer bound of the circle right now. The sphere, I should say. The circle is the cross-section the ground makes with it, so. Let's do this. And I think I'll go right about up to there. That should be enough. Enough, not enough. Right. And you know what? I think that's going to be good enough for right now. Yep. Okay. Speaking of killing our own eyesight. Okay, let's reduce our gear here, or I should say our inventory, right? Do that. There we go. And you know what? Let's put the beacon stuff right in there for now. Let's get rid of that. We could probably free up a shulker right there. Sand. There we go. Let's get that little bit out of there. Right. Anything I need to bring with me? I don't think so. Although an extra shulker for my gear would be a good idea. There it is. And let's do that. And this extra spoon right there. And here. We should stock up on that. Well, we're going in the mirror dimension. That's not going to help me. Okay. That should do it. All right. You know what? I will travel on into town during the break. So let's get that going. Let's do this. I'm going to set up the Be Right Back screen. We will run 3 minutes of ads, and then we shall resume in the mirror dimension. Or I should say, hey there, welcome back. Okay, so yeah, look at our giant rendering in there. That's so cool. Crawling up out of his hole. Some people, some folks have watchdogs to protect their property. Thunderhand has watch sea giants to protect his property. Oh, there's the main road. I wanted to do this because I wanted to give you the view from the north road here. As you're coming down to this, you can see the back of the giant crawling up out of the water. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. I'm thinking of getting rid of that mushroom maybe because it's kind of blocking the view, but yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. Enough admiring one's own build. Although that is cool. Hello, Mushi. Mushi stream bombing us. But it is a mushroom island. That looks cool. All right, let's head on into Drost. Welcome back. Thank you, sir. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I've muted myself in VC, so when last I was in here. So, all right, we're good with that. And here we go, back to the ice strain dimension. Bang. It's going to be so strange when we finally do get the Elytra wings. All right, let's reset the playlist. I was just noticing the lamps here, the lamps, street lamps, and I didn't know that they were open on two sides. I thought they were enclosed on all four sides, but apparently not. Ah, the townhouse with its tower. I guess I should get around to doing the interior of that at some point. Okay. No. I'm good volume-wise. All right, let's click on a bed. I see his name tag, everyone. There he is. Look, he thinks he's hiding. You forget to crouch.
Crouch fell about me.
All right, shall we induce massive amounts of ice strain and log into the mirror dimension? Well, I guess maybe I should ditch my gear right before I do that. Oh, this too. And this. And that. Okay. He already left. Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. The last place you would possibly look, right? Like,
Yeah.
can we get in there? Like, I see a little creepy there. Is there a way into this? You know, Lone, that is clever for you to even look at this. I never even considered this at all.
I've been doing a lot of thinking since you said the last place you'd look.
Right.
When I logged on, I started looking all around the outside of the normal castle.
Yeah, like in the backside of these columns too, right?
Yeah, I did that on day one.
Hawk! You're so thorough. Much more so than me. Which is hard to believe. I'm psychotically thorough, so... In other words, that's a compliment. Is there any way to get into there? So viewers, this is meant to be a reflection of this above, right? So it's not really a place that we're supposed to access. However, it doesn't mean that it's off limits to searching. I mean, there is this button right here. I don't know. I'm sure we've all pressed this button and nothing's happened, right?
Yep. I've pressed it a few times myself.
Of which we can be aware. And you know, I can't see or hear any block states being changed or anything. Now, Sage says he's been all around the portal itself. He's parkoured up there and looked all around all of that. So... I mean, something I would think of if somebody says, you know, last place you would look, other than the George Carlin thing, that's the first thing that comes into my mind. But after that would be the last place you would look is the place that you would start. I think that's... Are you thinking along those kind of lines?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Because you come out and you run right out there to go and look, wouldn't you?
Right.
So why not look in here?
Now, have we found anything in here in the past?
Not to my knowledge.
Right. Now, the powers that be dropped some other hints saying that they've tweaked some things to help us out.
Oh, okay, so they've changed a few things.
Supposedly. I don't really have any idea what those would be, but yeah. I think we should go gear up, right? I mean,
yeah.
You know, and I still haven't entirely abandoned the Ender Pearl plan. So if we happen to find an Enderman, let's whack him.
Definitely.
All right, let's get a projectile weapon like that. We'll do this. Let's get some food. We need some boots. Get as much gear as we can here. No shields, though, huh?
Yeah, that sucks. I like having a shield.
Yeah, for the skellies. I mean... I think that's pretty much it, right? I mean,
Yes.
all right. So trying to note things that may have changed, right? Like anything in the town.
Which is difficult when we can't see.
Good point. But I mean, like anything in the town hall, like right away that looks different. The mirror town hall here. Like I'm not really noticing anything on the interior. Like none of the books appear to be any different.
Can't see anything on the outside. All right, anything in any of the bookcases here that's... No, those are regular bookcases down below. All right, so I'm thinking maybe one of these regular bookcases has been replaced with a chiseled bookcase and there's a book in it. But no. Okay. Doesn't appear to be anything there. You know, I'm wondering, Lone. Yeah.
Chambers underneath structures, because there was a chamber under the Gravediggers structure? Gravekeepers structure?
So you're thinking there might be more?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's a reoccurring theme. Thing is, I don't know if we should be looking inside these structures or not. Like, this is an exterior wall, so I don't think there's going to be anything there.
I'm sure whatever they don't want us to do, we won't be able to do.
All right, so let's try to focus on this last place you would look. And see if we can think of what our dev was thinking when he said that.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I've looked.
Neither do I.
I've been around the island about 3 times.
Okay, here's Spidey. And there's a creepy.
But we know the creepies are no big deal here, which is wonderful. Now, viewers, we're not allowed to go into groups while we're here in the mirror dimension. So if Lona and I get separated, we need to just text each other. Yeah, there did seem to be some lore involving the flower shop.
Yeah.
But I don't, we've gone over that so many times. And I mean, we've been up on the roof, we've been on the trees around the flower shop. We haven't really. And we're also thinking there's one more map fragment to be found, but we're not sure.
Yeah, it could be. They could have made it an obscure number.
Right. We're just thinking 9 because that's the grid in which you place.
They could have made it silly like 12 because we're not actually putting it on a table, are we? We're not putting it on a crafting table.
No, we're just chucking it in a barrel, right? So
it can be any number that they've chosen.
Right. It depends on, it traveling through the barrel into whatever container. That could be a double chest. Now, different map fragments won't stack. So there could be, if it's like in a double chest, it could be up to 27 fragments.
I hope not.
Oh, please. Yeah, I really don't think there are any more in the treetops. Shut Mountain, myself, and Sage, at least us 3 that I know of. I don't know about yourself, but we've been all over these treetops. Lux has been all over them, so.
Yeah, we've parkoured up there, didn't find out.
Yeah. There's one room up there that we couldn't reach, but and similarly with the bridge house, right? There's 2 rooms up there that we can't reach. Last place you would look, I don't know, maybe the Mirror Skipton, but
Can have a look.
But we've been out there many times.
Yeah.
But who knows? If we go out there, maybe we can find an Enderman too, right? Maybe get ourselves a pearl. Trying to think of corresponding structures in the overworld.
Yeah.
That are significant, right?
There's the villager here.
Yeah, Mirror Skipton. But I don't know. I just don't think that there would be anything in here.
And that's why it would be the last place you would look.
I suppose. Well, there's a turtle inside this well. Oh, wait. I think I've done something kind of stupid.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I did not think. And I think we're out of fishing rods, right?
I think so.
Right. And there are no devs around.
With some message flying.
Ah, that was stupid. I'm thinking maybe I should just end the stream. Why is there a turtle in the well? I'm thinking if I can get atop of the turtle, if he could just swim up, then maybe I could jump off of his back or something. You know, I understand not breaking the blocks, but we should be allowed to have a bucket. Just for dumb people like me.
I mean, I could. Would we be able to place the bucket though? Place the water?
Probably not. No, we wouldn't. Yeah, what we need is a fishing rod. Because even though there's only one of you, I only just need a little bit of a lift. Ah. Yeah, I happen to know that Flying Villager is working at his job right now.
All right.
You know what I could do is I could just lose this gear. I could let myself drown and die. Yeah, let's do that. I'm just going to drown myself and die here.
I'm gonna message Nova.
Oh, don't bother, Lone.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to drown and die, and then I'll respawn. I mean, we're going to lose this gear, but... All right, click on the bed. Yeah, I forgot. We can't swim out of things like that. But at least we've come up with a solution, although it's not ideal. And we're able to continue the stream, because I was about to end the stream right there. Not quite a rage quit, but just... lack of interest quit. All right. Ow. Ow. Yeah, you know, I think the village, the Skipton village is a dead end. I don't think there's anything there. I'm thinking it's probably around the castle or something, because last place you would look would be like the first place you start. That's what I'm thinking. That kind of sucks that I've just lost that gear, but you know what? The other buffoons aren't really that active right now, so I'm not thinking having enough gear for everyone is much of a problem. I'm just looking for arrows right now. Oh, we do have a fishing rod. It's got a couple of pixels left on it.
Yeah, we need to save that in case somebody gets stuck where there isn't any water.
Now, we do have this weightless mirror shard, and we don't know what to do with it. We do have these rather innocent-looking pieces of carpet here.
That look rather similar to the
Yeah, the entrance
in
to
front
the
of the
castle.
castle.
Yeah. But we've tried things like chucking the mirror shard into this and whatnot, and nothing really happened. So that proved to be a dead end. You know, I think almost immediately of just chucking the mirror shard into the portal, but then we lose it, right? So I don't want to risk it, but let me see. I have 25 minutes left of the stream. You want to look around maybe the castle? I know you've already been through there a lot.
We'll go around the outside a bit.
Yeah, let me get some food here. There we go. All right. Yeah, let's just look around there. That's the only thing I can think of, even though we've combed that castle top to bottom. But it doesn't mean that there's nothing there. It just means we haven't found it. So... And we've been on all the features, like I think Sage was able to get up high on top of the castle roof itself somehow.
All right.
So I think he's already been up there.
This is missing. In the normal world, there's a little like miniaturized step on top of there, like a mini chair.
All right, that's a bale of hay that's under the campfire. Yeah, so that's missing off the top of this, huh? Let me see. Can I get up onto that wall? Yes, that way, right? I suppose we've been on top of the mausoleum roof here, right?
Yeah, I've been on top of there, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt for you to have another look if he says he's changed stuff.
Right. I guess it's worth a
Might
second
be
look, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe we can see something has been changed from up here, right?
Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
I mean, it seems like this wall is constructed to be traversed upon. Let's see. Can I make it over to there? Did he climb? Did he access the roof from that tree somehow? Like jump onto the tops of these and then from there jump onto the tree? Maybe?
Maybe.
Like, yeah,
Ooh,
see,
you're so close.
Yeah, I suck at parkour.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. There you go. See, you're so much better at this than I am. Look at that. But I do see what you're getting at here. Here, here, here. Yeah. Okay. Like that?
Ooh, nice one. Yep.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
Lone Star, if I made that and you can't, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
How many deaths do you have?
Stats. I know it's over 800. I forget the exact number. Number of deaths. Oh, I'm up to a full 909.
Nice. Well done.
I'm closing in on 1,000. Yeah, I don't see how I'm going to get over to there from here, though. Of course, it being nighttime doesn't help. I do hear a chicken.
Yeah. Could be on the outside then.
Oh, there he is. He's down there on the ground. Yeah, I'm not sure there's anywhere to go from there. Of course, it's raining, so there won't be any Endermen spawning tonight. Or if they are, they'll just be zipping around all over the place, so... Okay, I have to be really careful about falling in a hole here. That seems to be a theme with me. Okay, this area has been blocked off now. Remember I got stuck down here the last time?
Oh, is that where we had to get you out with fishing rod?
Yeah, that area's been blocked off. So I guess some things have been changed to tell us not to bother looking there. Should be able to do that jump spin here. Did I make it? Yeah, there we go. I mean, not that it's going to help me, but I'm just... If I could just get far enough away from this to have a look at it from down here. Hawk. You know, I'm blind between each pulse, as you can imagine, so...
Yeah. Same.
Yep. There we go. I just want to see if there's anything on the backside along these ledges. I'm sure folks have looked here, but... And I'm not sure this is the best way to go about that. Okay. All right, here we are. Let's see. Is there anything back here? Did I just... Okay, not quite. Oh, yeah, all right. I'm just not sure there's anything back here, but... Oh, I missed the ledge of that. I had a little friend waiting for me. I think I'm going to die here. All right. I've got some juice on me now, pal. Hmm? Eh? All right. Gee, you know, Lone, I'm kind of at my wit's end here again.
Yeah, same.
mean, this looks like a parkour kind of area, but I can't really... do anything from here. Yeah, I can barely see it all. What to do, do. Is there any way up from here? I don't think so. Maybe. Huck. I've been along the tops of those walls anyway, but it doesn't mean there's nothing there again, but... we are literally stumbling around in the dark.
Yeah. Wonder if it's worth having another look around the Undertaker's place.
Why not? Right? I mean, well, let's go. I've got no better ideas, clearly, so... Under the Undertakers.
Yeah, just don't go into the chamber.
Right.
Last time I went into the chamber, it took me 2 minutes to figure out how to get back out.
Oh, really?
I just couldn't see. I couldn't find which way I'd come in.
All right, now think about this. Undertaker, under.
Right?
It was under the Undertakers. So, are there any plays on words like that? For any of the other... Doesn't appear to be anything behind that painting. Oh, God. The frickin' eyes. Yeah, is there like a place to go further down, right? Or maybe a place out of the chamber that we seem to be overlooking. See, I'm thinking it's not in the chamber itself because it would have been destroyed by the wither, right? So...
yeah.
So what does he do? Goes and looks inside the chamber. I mean, there are 3 patches of moss here. Did you notice that? There's another patch of moss here. I don't know if those are merely decorative. There are 2 patches over here. Yeah, so I've got 3, 2, 1 patches of moss, and there are no other patches of moss. Of course, they could have been just decorations, and most of them were obliterated in the battle, right? So there is that to consider. Of course, it's so hard to see down here. Glow lichen.
I'm stood at the entrance so you can find your way out.
Thanks. You know, Lone, you do have coordinates there, buddy, too.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying.
they're all messed up because we're 100,000 out, aren't we?
Gee, Mr. Thunderhand, I'm just not seeing when I'm going to use this again later on in my life. I can't find my way out of the chamber. All right. Oh, what was that? That was you just trolling me. Was that your retort?
Yes.
Your barbed retort. Yeah, you know,
I fire an arrow in your general direction.
Whether it is noble enough to suffer the slings and arrows. Okay. Lone. I don't know what to do here.
Neither do I.
I'm just not good at predicting human nature, so folks say they give hints, but I just don't know how their brains work.
So apart from the stupid hint, what other hints?
That's it, basically. The things that we found are out of order, are out of sequence. And that, I'm thinking, is probably what's getting us right now, because maybe some of the things that we needed to find earlier would help us out with finding the things we need to find now. So, you know, they would provide hints so we can make some progress, but we don't know where those subsequent things are. So
I think we've done everything we possibly can with the Undertakers.
yeah, I think this is a dead end. But I'm trying to think of names like that, like under the Undertakers, right? There's, let me see, the flower shop. There's the bed and breakfast. Because if you go to the only real bed in the bed and breakfast has a clue, right? Let's head back there and see if we can confirm that. So maybe the way things are named, right? And their puns upon that. Uh-oh, pillagers somewhere. Maybe we can get some more supplies from them. Are they all on the rooftops here? Are they behind it? Or inside? Oh, there they are. Some of them are still trapped inside, I think. Fuck, I think they're inside. Or are they on the treetop? But they can't spawn on leaves, right? So is this telling us there's a way in that we don't know about already? Okay. We've been up here so many times, but I'm looking behind this ladder in this cavity behind here. So smokers, the chests, all of this has been looked at. They can't be atop these beams because the lanterns are taking those places. I mean, we do have access to the treetops if we jump from here. I think I've already looked at all these treetops, but... yeah, I've been up here. Of course, again, I repeat, it doesn't mean that there's nothing up here. It's just that I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that sucked. I'm going to head over to the bed and breakfast, see if there's anything over there. See if I can confirm that we found things near the bed at the bed and breakfast. I think that was this place.
No, it's got a sign, doesn't it?
Does
Sign
it?
outside saying bed and breakfast, yeah. It's not too far from the town hall.
That's right.
Oh, here it is.
Bed and breakfast. All right, so... yes, signed in room 1, room 2. Where is... yeah, there's the staircase. Now, there's only one real bed in the bed and breakfast, right? And a baby zombie, apparently, somewhere.
Oh god, it'd be stuck in the wall. This is the one where we can go in there, isn't it?
Oh, the bed is gone. There used to be a bed here. Those baby zombies probably on the roof. There used to be a bed here, and now there's not. I'm pretty sure there was a bed here, right?
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Yep. I think there's a baby zombie villager not too far away somewhere. I can hear him. You good down there? There he is.
Little pain.
Right. So, how am I doing for time here? I'm at the end of stream. I don't mind going over an extra 5 minutes though. So that bed has been moved, right?
Yeah, why?
Removed, I should say. And it doesn't appear to have been relocated somewhere. Those are all exterior walls. You know, there was part of like gathering the flowers too. Did we ever complete that task? Get all the particular flowers that we needed?
I think we were missing a few.
So I don't know. Maybe we should focus on that.
We ran around the entire town. We figured out we could pick the flowers out of the flower pots, didn't we?
Flower pots and things like that, right? So it's an exterior wall. That's a fake bed. Of course, all of these have been checked. That's exterior wall. I just said that. All right. That's hilarious. Sketty. Did I get any arrows? Yeah, I got a few. Maybe we'll get an Enderman.
One of the last 5 minutes.
Wouldn't be the first time. It would actually be the third time. God, now I'm just wandering around in the dark looking for Enderman. Sir, I'm at 5 past the hour. I think I'm going to wrap things up.
Okay.
So
Best head back then, don't we?
Yeah. I'm going to see an Enderman the moment I put my gear away.
Yeah.
Oh, I've gone too far. I think I missed it. Yeah, here it is. All right. Now we have to make it up to the top of the hill without dying. Although dying would be a quicker way back, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Just kill me now.
Just kill me now, please.
Sorry, our vision.
Yeah, good lord. Yeah, let's please get back into the castle to give the eyes a break.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking this out. For some reason, there's one piece of crying obsidian right there. I don't know if that's significant or not. It doesn't look decorative. Here is the corresponding block. Is it this one? No. It's that one. That might... Is that a clue to something in the mirror dimension? Hold on, I'm going to check this out really quick. Let me see. See if I can line up these features again. Right between these two, right in front of this one. There's one piece of crying obsidian right there. And I have no idea why. And there is no other sources of crying obsidian around at all. So what is that trying to tell us? But I am out of stream time. Let's take a screenshot anyway. All right, I couldn't see anything.
I found another one.
Oh, there is another piece?
Yep.
Oh, okay, then it is decorative. Ark! My friend, I am going to log off right here. Thank you for joining me on this another fruitless expedition.
Yeah, no worries.
Into the eye strain dimension.
We're going to need glasses after this.
I already got glasses. I'm just going to need, like, more glasses? Better ones?
Yep. Binoculars.
Just eye implants at this point. Are
Your
those a
eyes.
thing? God, I hope so. Anyways, all right, man. I'm going to log off.
Yep, laters.
Latest. All right, so there we go into another fruitless expedition into the mirror dimension. That Lone Star. Ah, what a dude. Let's see if there's anyone to whom we can raid out. Into? No, to whom we can raid out. Into? Ugh. You know what? I'm going to raid on over to Boakar's. I don't get to raid him too often, so let's do that. Let's set up that raid. There it is. Oh, we have some moderation to do, apparently. Done. All right. There is the raid message in the chat. You can copy and paste that into the chat if you would like to join us along on this raid. And I always encourage the viewers to join us on these raids, even if you can't stay for the entire stream. If you could just drop in and say hi, and if you feel so inclined, a follow, some bits, a sub, that would be really cool. Set up the raid itself. There we go, and the raid is counting down for our good friend Buffooncraft. Just a note, family-friendly viewers, the stream is intended for mature audiences. Although I don't think I've ever heard anything in there in Buffooncraft's streams before, both streams. But just be noted, just in case. Thank you, everybody, for joining me along on this Buffooncraft stream, especially Lone Star for putting in the time with me here. Just remember that we do this clean as a church. Lone Star is squeaky clean stream, in quotes. Just remember that we do this Buffooncraft stream every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Our next stream will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Kachi time. I don't know what Kachi's going to do, but Biggie is home. It may be more Half-Life if you guys are into that kind of a thing. We certainly are. The stream after that will be Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Generations, and we'll be back in the Baby Zombie Rush beta world for there. Okay. Everybody enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. We are raiding out to Buffooncraft right now. Bye for now, everyone.